What's going on, guys? So we're back again with another gameplay video. This time we have Perth Pro Players team captain Jimmy here on the left playing Red Broly, and we have Perth Pro Players team member Jason Coiffic here on the right playing U7 Goku. So just before we get started into the gameplay video, I want to give a huge shout out to our sponsor, Team Card Titan. So if you guys want any DBS Seal products or DBS singles, make sure you check out that link in the description below. Alright, so Broly, this is obviously the swap engine leader. Very, very aggressive leader, it can be. It's absolutely incredible, I guess, how quickly it can pop off. And definitely how taxing it also can be too. Because obviously you're warping cards when you're playing things out. It can take its toll very quickly on the opponent. Very hard to defend. And obviously the critical, pretty much written on most of the cards as well as the leader, right? When you start using those effects, is very, very powerful. It gets to just deny a hell of a lot of resources and just put that pressure on. So I feel like this is going to be a pretty quick game if the Broly really pops off. And then U7 Goku, I guess more of like a mid-rangey style deck, can be very aggressive as well in the right way. But I think in this matchup, Jason has to be a little bit defensive and kind of protect himself as much as he can. Good thing as well is your leader can awaken if you get enough U7s on your mills and you go first. You're kind of in a pretty good situation, so you can awaken early if you need to, so you're out that 15k, makes it a bit easier, and your super combos are pretty much always live, I feel like, in this matchup. But looks like here Jimmy is going first, which maybe make it a little bit harder for Jason here. Obviously Jimmy may be able to pop off a hell of a lot more. He is going to take that life, not using, I guess he gets the critical, and he gets the effect. He's going to go for the search for the 1 cost extra card, potentially going for the Planet Vampire, or he can choose any other one cost extra card in his deck as well if he wishes. So it looks like we're going to go for the Planet Vampire. Maybe not seeing a Broly this turn potentially. We want to find the 1-drop usually that can swap in and grab the bar, because that's the ideal one definitely. But maybe we didn't find that, so we're going to go for the Planet Vampire instead, I would say. So let's see what happens here. Looks like we are going to go for Vampire. He's going to check. Hopefully find the 1 cost that we're looking for. I believe he may have even just ripped it off just then. He may have actually just grabbed the 1 cost off life, because it did look like a 1 cost Broly, but I could be wrong. You also can play, I believe it's like a Paragus as well. But it looks like we have found the 1 cost Broly just here. So let's see what we go for. Yeah, so we did find the 1 cost. Obviously this is the alt art, which looks really, really nice. I think he would do the effect. I would assume that we can drop and go and grab our bar out, because then we can just search out more of our chain if we need to as well. Depends on what he has just here in hand. So let's see what he's got in hand. Looks like we are going to go for the effect, hitting a super combo, which kind of sucks, but is what it is. And then we're going to go and find ourselves a bar, which can then go and search for the next thing. And the nice thing is, obviously, this promo really made the deck a hell of a lot better, just being able to find the pieces that you need. So him going up to grab a 5 cost makes me assume that we've got the 3 and 4 in hand, and probably very easily can just swap into that. So let's see what we go for just here. I'm assuming he's probably just going to swap straight into the 3. Just go for it now and then probably just pass turn there. So it is a 19 as well, which is quite nice. So it keeps it quite safe with the Servant. Obviously the downside is that they do have the Servant skill, which means if they get left on board, they can't be untapped. But at the same time, they're swapping so quickly, it really doesn't matter very much. I think it doesn't really affect the deck too much, as long as they find their pieces, which they have such a good way to find their pieces. So for Jason here, usually what you want to do is you want to swing and then play your 1-drop or something like that, rather than going for the effect, just so you can see more pieces, better things to discard. Unfortunately, only seeing 1 U7 in that mill, so this is going to hurt a little bit. It's definitely going to be a later awaken, I would say. Definitely should always swing first, I feel like, with this leader too, just to see that extra card and just play your 1-drops out, get as many cards as possible in hand, so then your discard's not as painful. I guess like you get to see a little bit more to see if you have something better to discard. So we are going to swing into the leader. Obviously leader's going to awaken regardless, I think, at this point. You may as well see your extra card. Maybe he was thinking about not swinging, but I think, look, Leader's going to take that card. They're just going to flip and do the effect anyway. They're still going to have that critical on the backside already because we can see they do have a Broly BR in play, right? So they're going to have the critical on the backside. They're just going to take it and get the effect. So there's no problem. I think you may as well get those extra cards if you can. So we are going to play out a BMS. So obviously BMS would hurt if he goes for like the... if he plays again another 1-drop, tries to play out the bar and things like that, obviously that would tax the hand a little bit. Rest of the deck, I believe, is over the top of BMS, maybe outside of the Paragus that gets played off this 3 cost. That's the only other thing it can get hit, but it is what it is. I think it's still kind of worth it. Now, pretty explosive turn, I would say here, right? So pretty explosive for Jimmy. So he got 2 energy to work with on this front side. He can flip, and then he can also get the 2 energy back from the Awaken, right? So I feel like it's going to be a very, very aggressive turn. Thankfully, obviously, Jason is at 8 life right now. What he does need to do, though, is he probably needs to protect his leader a little bit when he can. So if it's an easy combo out, he's going to have to protect his leader just to save him. Good thing is he just needs 1 more card in his drop area, and then his super combo is actually live as well, which is really, really nice. I believe the only thing in the chain, though, that has the critical, if I remember right, is the 5 cost, and then the 6 cost has the critical, I believe. So that way, like, it's not too bad. The cards are still going to go to hand in these early combos, which is quite nice. And this one is swinging with the 19k right here. So we're going to swing with the 19k, and then I'm assuming you swap into the 4, warp a card, swing that, swap into the 5, warp a card, swing 30, I believe it's 30k critical or 20k critical, I can't remember exactly what it is, but rather oppressive, right? And then potentially we can even go up into our 6, but I think the 6 has the clause that someone needs an X amount of energy to actually play it out. I can't remember exactly what it is, but we'll see how it goes, obviously, if this happens now. So it looks like we are going to play a 1-drop just here. Jimmy's thinking about going to grab the bar as well, maybe. So maybe he doesn't have his 4 cost just yet, which I'm kind of surprised by if he doesn't have his 4 cost. I thought we did see 1 in hand. Also, maybe he just wants to keep the aggression on and set up another chain to swap into, which would be pretty nice too. So he can also, I guess, pick up this 3 cost, go into the 4, and then play that 3 cost back out, right? Which can be pretty taxing. So we are going to go into the 4. Do have to warp 1 card from hand. And I'm pretty sure Jason is the one that gets to decide what card gets warped from hand just here. And it does obviously come back after, I believe it's after his next turn, it does come back, which would be quite nice. So he does actually get that card back, which isn't the end of the world. So, going into the 4, Awakening, getting our 2 energy back, swinging in a 20k here with the Broly, because obviously we've got the Servant sitting on this one. We are going to take that damage as well. Now, we have got critical here on the leader because we do have a Broly in play just now. So, crit on the leader. 15 to 10. We're going to throw a double strike behind it as well. So really trying to tax the opponent. Obviously, Jason is letting that go. 2 kind of painful things to see go as well, an after image. And also the King Piccolo free play when you've got the Unison. So kind of sad there to see those 2 cards going. But it is what it is, unfortunately. I think the after image probably would have helped a little bit to defend as well. Would have been good if you had the after image to maybe even just kill one of the one cost Broly that's on board right now. Let's see what he decides to go for. Obviously having 1 more energy left. Probably say he goes up into the 5 cost. And then what he may do as well is swap into his 3 cost again to swing another 19k, right? But it looks like we're just going to pass here. We're going to leave 1 energy up. So quite surprising. I thought he would have been a little bit more aggressive because obviously this 20k doesn't restand just here. So I thought he would have been a little bit more aggressive. So we got 2 U7s just there, and then the Realm of the Gods extra card, which is quite nice. We are going to pitch the We Are U7, which I quite like that card as well. Obviously, We Are U7 grabs things back from your drop area. as well, which is quite nice. Only hard thing is it is an extra card that can clog sometimes, so I'm not too sure how many Jason is running. Once again, as I said, I think it's always better to swing with the leader first to get as many cards as possible. So we are going to, it looks like, minus the bar just here, which is definitely a good choice. Obviously, killing the Broly will allow that leader trigger to, the leader effect to trigger, so he can actually play out the next Broly up. I don't believe it has an energy restriction on it. It's just when a Broly leaves. It may have an energy restriction, and I could be wrong. Maybe remembering it wrong, but we do have that threat, I guess. So we are going to swing in here. We are at 4, so we can awaken. So I think that's what he's going to go for, right? So that's probably why he did the skill before attacking here, because he knew he was going to awaken during the combo step to get those draws and everything going, which is fair enough. It's a common thing that you do. But most of the time, if you know you're not awakening, definitely try to go for your swing first to just see as many cards as possible. So we are at 15. We are going to take it looks like to 20k. And this is probably a good strategy here for Jason, actually. What he's thinking, right, is that he could potentially just put the pressure on to close out the game very early, right? Because he's at one life and only 1 card. Sorry, 2 life and 1 card, 1 energy up. He potentially could close out the game here, right? Knowing that we don't really have a lot of cards in hand. So let's see what he goes for. Now, I'm surprised. I don't know if he did the draw on this backside. It'd be interesting to see if he did, but he could have a double strike Kai or something like that. But 20 again seems like a rather annoying number. So we're going to go to 25, losing 2 cards from hand. And I guess keeping this pressure on, right, and forcing some cards from hand is quite nice here for Jason. So we're going to leave that at a 19. He may even swing the BMS here and take a life if he feels like he can close out the game, right? As I said, Jimmy's not got a lot in hand. I think it's only about 6 cards or so. Not too sure how many Jason has on his side. But if he does have access to some super combos, it's going to be pretty taxing. Obviously, we've seen one super combo disappear on Jimmy's side. So the likelihood that he has a few more, he still obviously can, but potentially doesn't. So we're going to draw off the leader just here. We do still have 2 energies. So we've still got, like, hopefully a Frieza dual attack or something along those lines that we can swing in as well. Maybe even an Android 17 that we can swing in that already inherently has the double strike on it, and we can potentially grab something off the top, which hopefully we could find a super combo. So there is a potential that we could, I guess, do what we need to just here, right? So there is a potential that we get that. Now, I'm pretty sure it's only the counter play that has the limit 1 effect. Obviously, it's reduced, but I'm pretty sure it's just the counter play has the limit 1 with this one, so he is able to do that. Obviously can minus again the 15. Probably doesn't want to swing into it because he just can replace it, I believe. But let's see what he decides to go for here. Looks like we are going to swing. That is a super combo. Sorry about the glare there, guys. We are going to go for the double strike Champa to defend. So maybe that was going, so it was 29. We did take that up to 30k into the leader. We are going to swing the BMS in. So as I said, he's keeping this pressure on just here. So it is 5k to 5k right now. Letting that die. And then we get to discard 1 and play out another 4. But we've only got 2 cards left in hand. And we're going to counterplay it as well. So because it does have the 15, I believe. But I think Servant triggers... and I also think he needs to have 3 energy. I can't remember exactly how many energy he needs to have for that Vegeta to cost 1. I think it may be 3 energy before it costs the 1. Could be wrong, though. I can't remember exactly. He does get to grab that Koitsukai back just there. I think he's just realized. I'm pretty sure with the Servant effect as well. I'm pretty sure Servant actually triggers before it hits the board. So we do have to warp 1. He would get Koits back. Of course, so I hope he does pick up the Koitsukai because that is extra combo for him as well. He may have forgotten, but again, it is just taxing for Jimmy, I guess, right? Now he's only got 2 cards in hand. How much pressure can he actually apply? And is Jason able to defend this, right? So we are going to swing in. Violent Rays hitting down straight away, right? Which is huge. Looks like we are going to discard, so I'm assuming we're saying battle cards, and I think he realizes that's it. Probably not going to be able to combo out of that next turn. Obviously, can put a hell of a lot of pressure on in the next turn. He's already got 4 or 5 swings on the board. He's got a super combo in hand. So, there we go, guys. Obviously, Jason's approach was to be aggressive and force some cards out of Jimmy's hand, which I really like as well. I think that was a good decision just there because it did kind of go aggro to aggro. And that way that Jimmy couldn't really establish too much without losing too much advantage just here. So, U7 taking that one out. One of my personal favorite decks. I think it's incredible. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please remember to subscribe, hit that bell to stay notified, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.